All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Like I was saying earlier, I'm super excited to be bringing back our monthly team Zooms. And tonight we have Jillian Kaplan, who was kind enough to get on and share a wealth of knowledge about Success Club with us and just some really good tips on what's been working for her and her team. She is a 5-star elite coach. She is a Success Club legend. She works full-time, so like a lot of you guys who have full-time jobs, she rocks this business, works full-time, and she has the cutest team name. She is a animal lover, and is it Fit Rescue?
Yeah.
So adorable. I love it. I remember seeing, I don't know, I guess when we were in the same group, she's a part of our team. She's under, who are you under?
I'm under Janelle, which is under Cindy Doobie, which is under Jen.
I remember I saw your team name pop up and I was like, oh my God, that's the cutest team name I've ever seen. So I dig it. I love it. And yeah, take it away. I'm just going to mute my line and take notes.
All right, guys, I'm going to share my screen with you. Can everyone see that? Yep. Okay, awesome. Okay, so in the spirit of time management, because that's a lot of what this call is about, is how to hit Success Club in less than an hour a day. It's not going to be a super long presentation. I am like a presentation person. Like Carly said, I work full time. I work at a Fortune 10 company. I do a lot of like executive level presentations. And so I'm just better on PowerPoint. So here I am. I know a lot of people talk from a whim. I don't. I need my notes in front of me. So it's not going to be super long. I will definitely hang around and answer questions. You guys are always welcome to message me if you have questions after the fact. It is June 7th, and I will tell you that I am currently sitting at Success Club 14, and my husband's business center is sitting at Success Club 6. So just think about that when I'm talking about like why I structure my month the way that I do and making sure that I hit my Success Club in about an hour a day. I would say I work about 10 hours a week on this business. I do an hour a day during the week because that's what I have time for, and I do about a total of 5 hours on the weekends. So like all the bookkeeping stuff I didn't have time to do during the week, I do on the weekends. I'm going to give you my power hour list, and I did share this with Carly, so I'm sure she'll upload it to your team if she didn't already. But this is what I do every day, every week, every month. And this is not the glamorous stuff, guys. There's a lot of glamorous things to being a Beachbody coach. Doing your power hour is probably not one of them, but it is how you get to do the glamorous things, like walk across the stage at Summit and go on cruises and get to go on diamond retreats. Like all that stuff comes with this hard work. I've been doing this about 2 years, so I am pretty far out of my warm market at this point, and everything that I do is what I would call cold market. Now they're my warm market, but they started out cold market. So every week I write out my power hour to-do list, which is honestly pretty much the same every week. On the weekends, I add the things that I need to bookkeep that I didn't get to do during the week. I write out my goals, and I follow that list daily. I listen to my personal development. Sometimes I read. Honestly, most of the time I listen. I usually listen while I walk my dog, kind of like a multitasking. I work on me. So the number one thing you can do with a leader, I'm not sure how many leaders are on this call. All of you are leaders in some respect, but everyone always says to me, well, what do you do for your team? I spend probably 90% of my time on me because the best thing that I can do is lead by example. If I'm just like telling them what to do, and I'm at Success Club 1 every month, they're going to be like, really? You tell us to do all this stuff, but you're not doing it. So have the right mindset and intentions. I want to help as many people as possible without expecting anything in return. And I'll go over that on my next slide when I talk about how my free groups run every single month. And then number 6 is really big for me. So I've listened to a lot of top coaches. And they're all very different. You guys, if you look at the top 10, they look different. They have different backgrounds. They have different family lives. They're from different parts of the country. But none of them ever make excuses, and they never complain. They are always like, yep, I didn't meet that goal because of something I did. They take ownership for their failures and mistakes. And we all fail and we all make mistakes. but they don't put the blame outward. They take it inward and see how they can really improve. So what is my power hour? Adding 3 to 5 people to my network every day. And I'd be happy to answer questions on how I do this. I do it through Instagram. I do it through Facebook groups. I know a lot of people feel like if they aren't moms, they can't add, like they don't have people to add. I like dogs, add dog people. You like crafts, add craft people. There's something about you besides health and fitness, and you can probably, whether you're super religious, there's got to be something. So if you want to brainstorm after, we can totally do that. I return all my messages. I talk to 2 people every day about Shakeology, my business, something. I build relationships. I invite 2 to 3 people every day to whatever group I'm running that week, and I'll show you guys in my calendar. I run a group every single week. I follow up with people. And I will tell you, you're going to be like, oh my God, it's so annoying. People think I'm so annoying. I follow up with them. 99% of the time, I get a thank you. Like, thank you for not giving up on me. Like, seriously, 1% of people are annoyed, and too bad for them. But 99% of people are thankful that you did not give up on them. Okay? I make a to-do list. I post on my team's page, and I'm really spastic about it. Probably you guys are much more structured in what you do, but if I think of something, or like I see an awesome post that someone did in my newsfeed, I share it. Like, I'm like, this post is awesome. Like, check it out. I post on my Facebook and my Instagram at least 2 times every day, sharing my story. Just making sure to put myself out there. I put the business in front of 3 to 5 people a week minimum. I really do more like 20 to 30, honestly. And this is what I focus on every day, every day, every day, every day. No excuses. And I will tell you that the people that say oh, like once or twice a week, I'm just going to skip my power hour. The people that do that power hour 7 days a week are those that are going to be successful. I'm not saying I never take a break. I go on vacation, and I go on vacation. I was like the one person on the Beachbody cruise that I had my phone off. It was literally off in my safe. I carried around an old school camera. People didn't even know what it was. They're like, what's that? I shut off, but I allowed myself to do that because I work so hard the rest of the time. All right, this is an example of what my calendar looks like. It's kind of small in here. I'm sorry. This is February. I do this every single month. And I run this for my entire team. So I start off every single month. You'll see in February, I did a 7-day Shakeology Jumpstart with a crock-pot clean eating group. So what I want to do at the beginning of the month is I want to know who might be interested in joining my paid challenge group, which starts the following week. And I'm going to do that by inviting all these people to my free group. And if they say they want to join, hey, maybe they're interested in health and fitness. And every month I run a different free group. This month I'm doing a sleep challenge. Last month I just did clean eating. But in February I did a crock pot, and I always offer people a 7-day jumpstart. So what I personally do is I set up an event, not a group, an event. And you can invite up to 500 people. And as they RSVP yes, I reach out to them and I say, hey, I saw you RSVP'd yes to my crockpot group. Did you want to do the meal plan with or without the Shakeology Jumpstart? And they say with or without, and I either send them the link for the 7-day Shakeology trial. I'm not trying to sell them a challenge pack at this point. I don't want to talk to them about their goals. I just want to get them in the free group and see how they do, and kind of, show them the value of a challenge group, right? And there are tons. I'm happy to share my Google Docs with Carly. I put all of my group outlines in my Google Docs so my team can use them too. I have tons of meal plans in there. Super easy. It's not a lot of work. Don't reinvent the wheel, guys. All the stuff is pretty much done for you. So I start up every single month with that. And then I have a list of 25 to 30 people for that week that I'm going to reach out to and say, hey, how did you like the free group? Wasn't it awesome? I'm going to be tagging them and posting there, keeping up with them, doing the daily post for the free group. And I'm going to reach out to them and ask them if they want to join my challenge group, which starts the next week. In February, it was called Rev Up Your Resolution. It was for people that had a New Year's resolution and then fell off track. We've all been there, right? So I invited them to that paid group, which was our 4-week paid group. And so that allows me to hit Success Club in the first week, right? Because I'm going to be really concentrating on basically getting people to commit to a challenge group and challenge packs in that first week. And I have a really good base of people from my free group. So then you're like, okay, that's great, Jillian. You hit Success Club in the first week. Now what do? I spend the second half of the month converting challengers to coaches. So I can really, really work in my challenge group diligently, right? I'm not just kind of like throwing them in there and letting them go. I'm going to really work in my challenge group diligently. And I'm going to run a What is Coaching either the third or the fourth week of the month. So I'm going to run an intro group, and then I do a live What is Coaching event within one of the 3 days of my 3-day intro group. Some people like to read and some people like to watch. And so then I can invite to that. And I invite to that by inviting people that are in my challenge group. Like, hey, you're in the challenge group. How do you like Shakeology? Do you think you'd like to learn about what I do? And I invite from there. I also, reach out during my power hour to people I think might be interested in coaching that maybe bought a challenge pack before, or maybe they're just super awesome and I want to tell them they're super awesome and they should be a coach. And that's how I spend the second half of my month. But I don't have to worry about Success Club points or like scrambling to get a Success Club point on the last day of the month, because I think that's when we become salesy, right? Is when we sort of like are under that pressure. But by doing it the first week, you don't have to worry, and you can just work with people one-on-one, convert them to coaches, work to get coaches, and really not have to worry like, oh, did they already buy a challenge pack? Are they going to buy another one? Or am I going to get Success Club points? Because that part is done, right? Now your job is just to really build your business, and you can really help your team the second half of the month too. That's what I like about this plan also. And I pinned this to the top of my groups. It has fun contests on it. It was Team Cut Month. It has the sales on it, National Wake Up Calls, Payday. And I did a fun contest to try and beat me in Success Club points, because I'm always at the top of the leaderboard. I think someone beat me like in April for the first time. So that was good, actually. I was psyched. So that's kind of how I structure my month. So I make sure I'm hitting power hour. I'm hitting Success Club in the very beginning. So I can't see all of you, but if you guys struggle with conversations, I find that that's something that people tell me, like, I can post, I can be a product of the product, but I can't invite one-on-one. I really struggle with that. Does anyone struggle with that? Nod or do something? No? I can't see everyone. Okay, yeah, I see. Okay, awesome. So these are some conversation starters that I use. Compliment, comment, question. Like, why are you reaching out to them? I personally find it much easier to reach out to people about the coaching opportunity, because I find it much easier to compliment someone like, hey, you're super awesome. Like, I think you make a great coach, and tell them why. Like, tell them why and ask them a question. Like, talk to them like a normal person. Don't like send them this weird spammy message. Like, have like a genuine conversation with them, There's a reason why you think they'd make a great coach. You guys have an awesome enough leader that I'm sure you're not just like randomly spamming everyone and sending them messages, right? So like this is the only profession where we get to pick our coworkers. So I definitely am picky on who I message. And I tell people that, like, I think you'd be great because, and on my YouTube, which I'll share with Carly after this, I have a whole how I invite on Instagram, because that is like a very specific way, because that market is it's a very cold market, right? Like, it's most of the people on there are not in your warm market. General questions, more personal questions. Ask them, have you considered? This is a big one. It's going to sound stupid, but especially on Instagram, use their name. Like, I understand some people don't have a name, but like if you say hun or babe or sweetie to everyone, they're going to think you have no idea who they are. So if on Instagram their name is Jen, say, hi, Jen. And if it's got one N, one N. If it's got two N's, two N's. You would not believe how many people are like, oh my God, you spelled my name right. Yep, I actually, looked into you and didn't just spam you, because there are people out there that spam and ruin it for us, and we don't want to be those people. If you have no idea where to start, some questions to use. How long have you been into XYZ? Would you rather blank or blank? What have you tried in the past? What's your best advice for? What would you recommend? Just some really good ways to like start conversations with people and get the ball rolling. Like sometimes it leads into a conversation about coaching or a challenge pack, and sometimes it doesn't. But at least you're there and the conversation is open. I'm going to tell you a not so little secret about health, fitness, and finances. They're embarrassing for people. People find it hard to reach out to you and say, I'm overweight, I need help. I'm broke, I need help. That's why you have to be the one to reach out to them and say, I can help you. You know, I can help you build a business. I can help you lose weight, because they're embarrassed to reach out to you. And I know that like, you're like, oh, I don't know about that, but it's true. I mean, those are sensitive topics. Think about it. Like we're not selling candles or makeup this is like life-changing stuff. And if you really want to change people's lives, you need to take the initiative and reach out to them, because I have a feeling that that's where a lot of you are lacking in your power hour, is reaching out to people. You're probably posting, you're probably doing your personal development, you're probably recognizing and sharing your story, but you're not actually one-on-one inviting people. And that's where the magic happens. I'd say 10% of my customers come to me, 90% I go to them. So, and the worst that can happen is they say no, right? And then you ask them next month again. Okay. Social media planner. If you have no idea what to post, if posting is your downfall, here's a cute planner for you. I find the best times for me are 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday. I am active on the weekends. I actually find Sunday night to be okay too, but I'm active on the weekends, but I don't post like earth-shattering things. Like if I'm sharing something super awesome, like I qualified for something awesome, or I want to do a call to action, it doesn't happen on the weekends. I do 1, maximum 2 call to actions a week. And by using the calendar, I can stay really focused to my call to actions, right? Because the week before my free group, I'm call to action my free group. The week before my paid group or my challenge group, I'm call to action my challenge group. The week before my coaching group, and the rest of the month, I'm going to be doing calls to action for my intro to coaching group or my coach internship that starts at the beginning of the following month. So it allows me to stay really, really focused and sort of not veer off course, which is, I think, where a lot of us waste a lot of our time. This job can be done in 8 hours a day, or it can literally be done in an hour a day. And I am proof of that. Okay, some time management tips. Have a plan and stick to it. So whatever your plan is, whatever calendar you're using, stick to it. Don't be like, but so-and-so is running this super fun group on how to snack less. I'm going to do that too. Great. Get the how to snack less group outline from so-and-so and do it next month. But as soon as you start to like veer off course and do a bunch of other things, you get distracted. And I think it gets really hard to hit Success Club and really stay on track with your time management if you are all over the place. Do it every day, every day, every day, every day. I know you want to skip it some days. I want to skip it some days too, but it's not worth it. It is not worth it. The biggest mistake I see people make is when they're like at a high and then they sort of like scale back a little bit. I feel like it's detrimental to your business. Like you have to just keep going. Put in the necessary before the fun. So that means if it takes you 3 hours to make a flyer on Rana, which guys, it takes me like 7 hours to make a flyer on Rana. I don't even bother anymore. Don't do that first. Do your power hour before everything else. And on that same note, if you are struggling with things like making flyers, or maybe you are not good at writing posts or blogs or something, hire some help. And you don't need to hire like a full-time assistant. I'm not good at graphics. I'm an engineer. I do math. If you go on Fiverr, Fiverr, you can get like some really cute, like they'll like do like designs for cover photos or websites or stuff like that. And it's like $5 to $10 a design. And it's so worth it, especially for someone like me. It takes me like 7 hours to do one of those things. Don't try and like concentrate on what you're bad at, don't try and make that better. You're better off like blooming in what you're great at and delegating in what isn't your strength. Take your hardships and turn them into success. I see so many people that are like, oh my goodness, like this person passed away and I got in a car accident and I this and I that. And I mean, you can dwell on that, but that's not what's going to move your business and honestly, your entire life forward, we all have crap, all of us. And I'm not going to compare my crap to yours because we all have crap. But if you let it hold you back, it will. And if you let it fuel you, it will. And my last tip, stop scrolling. I know you guys are scrolling, looking for inspiration, looking for things to post about. Stop. Like literally stop scrolling. Take your list of people you're going to reach out to them, and stop randomly looking for people because they're not there. You're not going to find inspiration. Do your personal development for inspiration. Don't randomly scroll through Facebook or go to your team page because I bet you that there's a ton of inspiration in there. But randomly scrolling is going to distract you and not really help you with your time management. And I'm going to be so bold as to give you an assignment. So what does your calendar look like next month? Because that is going to gear you or guide you to what you're going to be inviting to. Because invites is really where the bread and butter is and where you're going to hit Success Club. And I know I saw someone post on our big 5-star and above group for corporate that they never have to send an invite, that people just come to them. Well, that's great, but that is not me. I don't have that attraction marketing thing down. Like I said, I get about 10% that come to me, but 90% of people, I have to go to them. So I'd be missing 90% of my market if I never reached out to anyone. So I'm going to challenge you all to start reaching out. And that is all I have. I hope pretty much in my half an hour, 25 minutes. So that's pretty good. I'm going to stop my share and I'm happy to take questions if Carly wants to come off mute.
Girl, I have 2 pages of notes. That was amazing.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I love your directness. I love your no bullshit. And I love your just this is what I do. And then now go do it. Because, I think a lot of times, myself included, I've got to get better at my calendars. So I've got some things that I got to work on just based on what you said. But I think we get lost in the scrolling. We get lost in the fluff, what everyone else is doing, this, that, and it really pulls us away from our goals and what we need to focus on. So I love that you also said bloom at what you're good at and that you put 90% focus on you, because I know some of the leaders on this team, as we're growing, it's easy to take the focus away and just put it all on the team. And I've been guilty of that. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, we'll just open it up for a few minutes. And if any of you guys have questions, just each of you unmute. And if you have a lot of background noise, then you can just stay muted unless you have a question.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're inviting to your free group in the beginning of the month, is that something in your head where it's the people I'm going to invite to that group will be the people that I will then invite to my challenge group? So do you have a list running of those people that you invite to the free group with the notion that those will be people you invite to the challenge group, or do you just kind of randomly invite to the free group?
Yeah, so I use the Facebook list. Do you guys ever use that to categorize people?
Yeah.
If you click on the friends button, for those of you that don't know, if once they're friends with you, it'll say you can click on a button and it says friends, and then it'll allow you to click down and add them to a group. You can Google it if you don't know how to do that. And I put all of my challenger and coaching prospects in a group like that. And then I guys, I'm so lazy. I open the event, right? And then I just add all of my challenger and coaching prospects. Well, I don't add them. I do not randomly add people to groups. I invite them to the event. And every month, different people RSVP. Yes, some people are not interested in a sleep challenge. Some people are interested in crock pot, so it allows me to get, and then obviously as they become challengers and coaches, they come off those lists and go into other lists, and I have new people coming into those. Does that make sense? Okay.
I have a question. when you add them to the group, do they get a message saying that they've been added to the group, not the challenge group or the free group that you're adding them to, but I mean, when you have them on your friends list and you're trying to sort through, no, okay.
No, but you're creating like, you're not putting them in like a group that Facebook created.
Okay.
You're creating like your own group called like Challenger Prospects or something.
I've shared it before. I'll reshare it. Like I'll show a screenshot of how to do it or make a quick video. I know I'll share that so you don't have to like feel like you need to screen share or any of that. Does anyone else have questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So do you, with your friends, like, do you go to their friends list to add your 3 to 5 people once you start getting into cold market, or do you more focus on like the mom groups or the pet groups or?
Yeah, I don't go through friends lists at all. Like actually ever, I don't think. I do the groups because I feel like whatever groups I'm joining, I want to be active in those groups. I don't join like knitting groups because I don't knit. So like I'm in like a dog group or like something like that. And I post in there every day. So I feel like people are more likely to see me as like a real person instead of like, who the heck is this random girl that just friended me? You know, like it's all about like the relationship. And I don't always reach out right away, but a good thing to do too if you're nervous about starting conversations is once someone accepts, like, oh my God, thank you so much for accepting my friend request. Like, your kid is super cute. How old is she? I mean, you can just make it like really easy. It's just not that scary. Like, I get a glass of wine and start drinking and message away. I honestly have had so few people be rude, because if you're like genuine and real, you're not gonna, if you're spammy, you're gonna have people be like, but if you're like genuine and real, and I feel like I am, I've had like, you know, maybe 3 or 4 people tell me to bug off. Okay, fine. Like they don't, and I take it as like, they don't need me. Like there's someone out there who does need me. So I'm good with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jillian, I'm sorry, I have one more question. When you do this event for your free groups, do you like explain in the group that you have the option to be on Shakeology Sampler or not on Shakeology Sampler, or do you just bring that up when you personally invite, or when they respond yes, is that when you bring that up to them?
Yeah, so I usually like put a brief description of what the group is going to be about, and then I say like, please no coaches or those working with coaches, and I ask them to fill out my free form. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay. So that's all in the group description. And I always say like optional, option to do a 7-day Shakeology sampler in there, but very few people reach out to me about it. Like, once again, people don't, I don't know, they're nervous. I don't know what, but like, and I personally, I know that some teams have different thoughts on this. I personally like get an extra box of Shakeology and send out my own samplers. I just feel like people don't want one of each flavor. Like they either like chocolate and vanilla, or they like fruity or whatever. So I create my own samplers for people. So that's how I do it. But you can obviously just not have to hold inventory. And I'll tell you, like, sometimes I run out that I don't even have enough for me. I have to get another box. So that's, I mean, I don't know. It's worked really, really well for me. And like I said, people don't understand the value of a challenge group until they're there. And showing them what a free group is like, they're like, wow, this girl like is putting a lot of time and I haven't given her a penny. She must actually care. Yeah, I do actually care, like and that's what I want to show them without having to be like, hey, I care, like it kind of like actions speak louder than words,
I have 2 questions. When you open, are both of these groups, your free group and then your challenge group, when you said open to your team, do you guys all run one big group together, or?
Yeah, so I do leave them open, and I let anyone in my downline join and add people.
Okay, so to play on that, when you're building relationships and you're really engaging with these people, are you commenting on every single person's thing and liking every person's thing? because I know a lot of coaches that I've spoken to lately, they're spending so much time in their challenge groups that within their power hour, they're not having time to do anything else. So with such a big group, what is your magic tip there?
You mean like, am I commenting on all my coaches' stuff?
No, just like everyone in the group. Like if you've got like 200 or 300 people in a challenge group, how do you?
So not everyone like adds, like my whole team is invited, but a lot of them have like taken their wings and flown. But like, I'd say I have like 100 to 120 maybe in each challenge group, but I don't run a continuous one. So like some people, they get so big because I think they just add and add and add to it. For me, I think having a start date, like really helps me stay focused and inviting to that start date. But I also like some people kind of like drop off, or coaches, have their own big teams and take them to their own groups. So I don't spend more than like 10 minutes in there probably commenting and liking. And
Okay, I didn't know if you tried to like touch everyone, not coaches, but like all the challengers while you're.
I mean, I try, but I think my challenge groups go pretty well. I say this one was a little rough actually, but I ran an 8-week one, and I think that we did it like concurrent with the Summer Strong 8-week challenge that Beachbody did, and I think 8 weeks is just too long. So I'm going to try and be a little more focused on that. But so you're saying people are spending their whole hour in a challenge group?
Yeah, like if it's a group that big, like if you've got, 60, 70, 80 challengers in it and you're scrolling kind of down to where you left off and working your way up, like that's very time consuming. So I was just curious as to how you worked it when you open it to your whole team and how you manage like 100 and 150 people in there versus a group of like 20 or 30 more intimate. So
yeah, I've been pretty okay. Like I try to put more like my posts are more engaging so that I don't have to feel like I have to go find all their posts. But if I ask a lot of questions and they're kind of coming to me, that helps also.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Does anyone else have anything they want to ask before we hop off?
Do you have like a timeline for like when you post about or when you share or invite on your Facebook about the coaching opportunity?
Yeah, so I do that like the second half of the month. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like after my challenge group kind of kicks off, I'm pretty intense in there my first couple days. And then I really like shift my focus to the coaching opportunity. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Facebook allows you to create events in groups now. And if you do it from your computer, it allows you to invite everyone in the group to that event. So like if you're going to do a live What is Coaching call, go in your challenge group and create the event in there and like throw the link in the event and people will see it. They're going to ask questions. We had a really great call with Amber Snow, and she was doing it on like converting challengers to coaches. And she was saying like, she goes in her group and she's like, hey, like I hear some of you guys aren't getting the discount. Like, and she runs it with her whole team also. She's like, tag your coach below if you like want to learn about how to get the discount, because I can't believe some of you guys aren't getting it. And then people are like, what discount? And it seems to really work well for her. I haven't done a lot of that. I'm definitely going to be starting with this next group. We're starting up for sure. And holding people accountable is good too. Like, so one thing that I do is like, every like Monday you post about a certain thing, Tuesday about a certain thing, Wednesday about a certain thing, and it sort of allows people to stay focused and on track.
Cool. Anyone else?
I just wanted to say for an idea for a free group, I did it last week, and it was a water challenge. It was for 6 days, and it was to drink half of your body weight in ounces a day. And I was getting like 42 comments per day or more of people being active with it. And it was free and easy, and we had a lot of people love it.
Yeah, that's an awesome one. I've done like a walk and water challenge, like 10,000 steps a day. And half your body weight in water. No, that's great. Like there's so many ideas. Like here's one right here. You don't have to invent the wheel, like reinvent the wheel. And that's where a lot of people spend their time too. They're like, well, let me figure out, okay, no, you don't need to figure out, like people have come before you and been super successful. Just like go with it. Like that drives me nuts because I'm like, you're fine. Or like all these flyers. The flyers are cute, guys, but honestly, a picture of you is gonna grab a lot more attention than some flyer. I don't even do flyers anymore, like ever. So for you creative types, awesome, but you know me.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for getting on tonight. We appreciate it. I know that, like I said, I took a ton of notes. I'm going to share, she shared her actual doc with us, so I'll put that in our team page. And yeah, thank you so much again. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. If you need anything, feel free to shoot me a message, okay?
All right. Perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome.
See you guys.
Bye.